It was like when I first time met Sai Baba, yeah? I was looking for a teacher.
Vladimir Karuna lives in war-torn Ukraine today.
The first time when I have seen a Sai Baba, I did not accept him like a teacher. I didn't feel anything.
Vladimir, a psychologist, uses spirituality as one of his ways to help suffering Ukrainians.
But then after a few darshans with Sai Baba, my attitude changed. He showed me the divinity inside of my heart.
Lessons learned from several teachers about the ultimate truth of identity. Lessons he learned from Sai Baba, Mooji, and Ramana Maharshi.
When you're sitting in the front of Mooji, in the front of Sai Baba, something is happening with you. And you didn't even realize it, what is happening. But after some times, you realize that self-enquiry became more easily for you.
And it is self-enquiry today, spiritual introspection, learning about fear, love, and peace from Ramana Maharshi and others that Vladimir carries to fellow Ukrainians in the midst of war.
And my spiritual practice is like a self-enquiry 24 hours a day. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. Every time I try to remember, who am I?
And who are they really in the Ukrainian war? Welcome to Souljourns and to this interview from Western Ukraine and California, recorded on April 1st, 2022. Vladimir, welcome to Souljourns. Very first thing I want to say is all of us who are watching right now want to know how you are doing in the middle of the war in Ukraine. Are you okay?
No, I'm okay. And my family more or less safe place now. And now I'm trying to help people like a psychologist.
Your family members are safe outside of Ukraine.
My family are now in the safe place. Yeah, they have been given protection by Czech Republic, and they're safe, and I'm very happy about this. I'm trying to tell people about their practice of self-enquiry, about meditation, and I'm staying in some part of West Ukraine because before I was staying in the Kharkiv. Now it's very dangerous to stay there because Russian everyday bombing my city. Maybe 50% of people from Kharkiv shift to the west part of Ukraine.
Did you tell me that you were acting like a psychologist or that you are a psychologist?
I am psychologist, but last time I used for meditation, self-enquiry to help people, because I realized that it's most powerful things which we can use for helping.
I'm really glad to hear you say that because I wanted to talk to you about that. I wasn't sure this was appropriate at this time, but I think it is. Is it possible to learn any spiritual lessons in Ukraine in the middle of a war?
Yeah, because war is like a situation which helps us to understand that everything is. This situation draw us to look within, to find some place, a safe place inside us. Yeah.
I know you happen to be a follower of many holy people, including Sri Satya Sai Baba. Do you feel as if he is with you in Ukraine?
Yes, I feel it because it's like a self-inquiry helps me to find some inside me, yes, to find something.
How did you come to Sai Baba? How did you come to Ramana Maharshi's teachings and Mooji's teachings?
It was like when I first time met Sai Baba, yeah. During my first trip to India, I was looking for a teacher. The first time when I have seen Sai Baba, I did not accept him like a teacher. I didn't feel anything. I tried several times to leave the ashram, but various of little things prevented me from doing so. Yeah. But then after a few darshans with Sai Baba, my attitude changed, and I saw his divinity.
You did.
I started to feel like a connection with divinity inside me. It's like he showed me the divinity inside of my heart, like this.
Was that many years ago? How long ago was that?
It's like first time was 2005.
Are there any other Sai Baba devotees in Ukraine?
Yeah, around me a lot of devotees in Ukraine, and every time when I come to India, I met them. Among my friends in my city, there are devotees, and communication with them gives me a great pleasure every time.
Sure.
And we support each other. I know that in such situation in Ukraine, like now, war, bombing, devotees helps each other.
Well, you're a very brave man to stay there during the bombing and during the war. How do people feel as a psychologist? I know many people must be very, very scared, but in addition to the fear, how do they feel about the future of Ukraine?
Now it's like psychological condition of Ukrainians is very hard, very hard. Fear, angry, and women. For women, nervous system was like I cannot to describe it because they're crying and have to go out of Ukraine, and they leave their husbands. Yeah.
Vladimir, as a psychologist, are you able to help people with their fear?
Yeah, of course. I try to help through meditation. Yeah, to have a connection. By meditation, we can connect with fear or with all emotional condition. We can connect. We can move from head, from stories, from mind to the feeling of this. Yeah. Because fear is natural state now. When you realize that at any moment you can die from Russian bomb, and fear is natural. Fear is felt in the body. It's like a very strong bodily experience. It's an excellent method for shifting attention to the someone who is experiencing fear. Yeah, this leads us to impersonal observation, because when you're doing self-enquiry, you're shifting your attention to the I amness, and that state can give us impersonal observation, and impersonal observation can in that state we can connect with fear, we can connect with angry, and deal with this.
And deal with
because and deal with this, because when you are a person, you can deal with this because you are part of this.
I'm curious to know how you first became interested in self-inquiry.
Many years ago, it's like 1992, I had some small book of Ramana Maharshi, Russian translator, and with his teachings. But first time I didn't understand anything from this book.
It takes a while to learn self-inquiry. It takes a while to come to understand it. Obviously, you did understand it, and you must practice it all the time now.
Yes, the time I realized that I have to practice. I have to meditate. I have to find teacher, and I have to get a mantra, and I have to do something, doing. And after several years of doing, of doership, I met some people who described me what is self-enquiry really. And one of my friends said me, okay, do you know, Vladimir, what is meditation? Meditation, when you shift attention from the object of meditation to the subject.
To the subject.
And then, and from that time, I start to realize that what is it? How to draw, how to shift attention inside. Yeah, because inside there is nothing like. And that time I start by step. I met Mooji, and maybe in 19. I met Mooji first time at 2006 or 7, and I start to visiting his satsang, and step by step I start to realize more, to more understand what is I amness.
You must be a very serious student, because you went to Puttaparthi in India to see Sai Baba. You went to Portugal, I heard, in order to be with Mooji at his ashram there. And I think you've gone at least once, maybe many times, to Tiruvannamalai, the home of Ramana Maharshi, to visit his ashram. Of course, he passed away in 1950, but it still draws people from around the world who are interested in learning about self-inquiry. Did you learn more about self-inquiry from all three of these teachers?
Yes, of course. It's like more intellect. It's not like a more intellectual understanding. Yeah, it's like a more, I don't know how to describe, because when you're sitting in the front of Mooji, in the front of Sai Baba, something is happening with you, and you didn't even realize it, what is happening. But after some times you realize that self-inquiry became more easily for you. It's like something is drawing you inside.
Vladimir, I know you're a great student of Sai Baba's most important lesson, and that is the lesson that everything is Maya, which is a word that simply means that this is a dream world. Everything is a play, it's fiction, and that there is only Atma, which is another word for God.
When I was a student, like I have been like a 70, 80 years old, I start to interesting about spiritual life. I start to looking for books, teachers, and it was like something happening with me within. Like it was not like a decision. Yeah. In my case, I feel that it's like some power leads me to spiritual life, and I have no choice to go another way. And from that time, I decide, when I was like 18, I decide that spiritual path for me is most important things than others things in my life. When my friends married and get a lot of children and all this stuff, I realized that it's not all for me. And I started doing a lot of spiritual practice, meditations. After some kind of doing of spiritual practice, I realized that it doesn't help. I asked myself, Vladimir, what will you do when you will die after 1 month? What will you do these last months? And I answered to myself, I will go to India, because I never been in India. I never, yes, it was like a big dream for me. And I sold my apartments in Ukraine and used all this money to visit India for 4 months. And that time, 2005, I met Sai Baba. I have been in Osho Ashram. I have been in Tiruvannamalai. I met a lot of teachers in Tiruvannamalai. I have been in many satsangs. I met Mooji at that time. It was like first time in India when I was sitting in front of Ramana Ashram in the small cafe. Have you been there? It's like in the opposite of entering to Ramana Ashram. There is a small cafe, chai shop.
Yeah.
And I have, yes, I was there with my wife, and Mooji was at the time. Mooji was not so famous. Yeah, nobody knows him because I have seen his posters, like a blue white small posters about his satsang, and he came to this cafe with some of devotees, 2 or 3 devotees around him. And when I saw him first time, I said my wife, see, he's enlightened.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like something recognition. Yeah, recognition happening with me. Yeah, and the wife said, "Wow, how do you know this? How do you feel this?" I said that, I replied that I don't know. I don't know, but I felt that he is enlightened. And it was first time. The second time I met him after 2 or 3 years. I met him first time in a cafe. It's like it was like 1 minute. It's all. And second time I met him in satsang in Tiru also. I have sit in the first line in his satsang, and he looked at me and said, "Oh, I remember you." Yeah, for me it was surprise because it's like it was like a 2 or 3 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
gap. Yeah, and that time I realized that yeah, I have visit to his satsang because I started to feel that it's very helpful for me. Yeah, to for understanding self-enquiry.
And it's obviously working for you. You love self-inquiry. It's apparent that more and more people are awakening to the truth of themselves. What about Vladimir?
I don't know, because there is no scale of no ruler which we can use to know how do you close to enlightenment or far from enlightenment. And if people said that I am close to enlightenment, it means only one thing: he doesn't understand. Yeah, because how it's possible if somebody has an idea like I am close to enlightenment, he must to ask himself who is that person who is close to enlightenment.
But you must enjoy this path that you're on. Are you going to continue on this path?
Yes, because self-inquiry is like became more attractive to me, because it's like I feel more liberation, more joy, more safety. Even now,
I would like to ask you a personal question. You don't have to answer it. And that is, could you describe what your spiritual practice is every day, every week?
my spiritual practice is like a self-inquiry 24 hours a day. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I can wash my dish. I can do some cleaning my room. I can talk with my friends. I can sit and have some cup of coffee. It doesn't matter. Every time I try to remember who am I. Sometimes I felt it's like it's more natural to be with myself.
I don't know too many people who have gone into a state of awakening, but I do know of people who have had a spiritual experience along the way. Have you had spiritual experiences?
I had a lot of spiritual experience, but I am not sure that it's spiritual, because I spent a lot of time, many hours in meditations. I have been in special meditators group, and I was like running for something special, spiritual experiences. But you know that I realized that any kind of spiritual experiences is not true, because it's like it appeared and disappeared. It's not true, because everything is not stable, and like all this kind of experience is not true. We have to hold on something which not change it.
Do people ever ask you to explain to them the meaning of self-inquiry? And can they understand when you explain it to them?
It depends from people. Yeah, many people doesn't understand and start to argue with me. Yeah, argue. Start to some conversation. What is wrong? What is not wrong? But some people has more open heart.
Do you have people there in Ukraine that you can share self-inquiry with, because they also practice self-inquiry?
Yeah. I have a not big group, yes, but I have like a small group of my friends, and we met maybe 1 or 2 times a week, and spend time to speaking about self-inquiry, sitting in silence, and then watching some satsang or some videos. And now we are in the different place of our country, because it's war, and we connected by online, yeah, by internet, and we keep connection. And we sometimes, if somebody felt bad, yeah, and sometimes if somebody of my friends needs some helps, they called to me, to another friends, and we help each other to stabilize experience of I amness, because it's like it helps us to go through any kind of emotional condition now.
You just said to practice I amness. When I first went to see Sai Baba in India, one of the first things I heard him say was, repeat after me, I am God, I am God, I am no different from God. And I didn't know what to make of that. I wasn't able to understand it. It's taken me many years to get to the point where I now see that there is only the I am. So that must give you great confidence in Ukraine during this period of war. How much exactly does your spiritual life help you as a man in Ukraine during the war right now?
It helps me. Yeah. It's helped me a lot, because because now we are going through fear, we are going through angry, we are going through another kind of emotion, because now we are disconnecting with our family, because our wives, children are outside in other countries. Self-inquiry meditation helps us to deal with all these stories, all these emotions.
You also, like many, many, many thousands of people, are going through grieving of the loss of other people, family members, neighbors, friends. That must be very difficult for anybody. Vladimir, you're a psychologist. You spent many years meditating. You practice self-inquiry, which at its core teaches people that there is only the one, only oneness. Has this prepared you to be in your country during a period of war where you find that you still have fear, or has it taken away your fear?
You know, sometimes I felt fear when I hear some bombing. You know, it's like immediately I felt it's like a squeezing. Yeah, it's natural to feel this. It's okay. It's okay. And mm, And I felt also like a collective emotion. Yeah, because when I'm sitting in the center of city, I felt that there are a lot of fear, there are a lot of anger around me, because it's like a collective, yeah, consciousness. And sometimes it's very hard to feel this, because you're like sitting in the middle of the, I don't know how to explain like a middle of tsunami, like emotional tsunami.
Vladimir, we're just about at the end of our interview, and I want to thank you, but I want to ask you one last favor. Would you just let us know I would like to know if you would like to take a minute or two and tell us what the most important thing as an outsider all of us need to understand about what people of Ukraine are going through and how others might help.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Most important things, yeah. I don't know what to say really, because experience of war is very strong experience, and this time I think my friends and me realized that that we have to understand that every second of our life is very, very, can I say value? No?
Can you say
Value? It's like a very
valuable. Value has much value to it. Yes, value.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because every second of our life, we can give love, we can share love, we can share compassion. Yeah, it's most important things in our life than others, yeah, than everything else. And now when we realize that we can die, yeah, when we are disconnecting with our friends, families, we realize that when war is finished, we'll finished, yeah. It's like immediately I felt it's like a squeezing, yeah. It's natural to feel this. It's okay. It's okay. And I felt also like a collective emotion, because when I'm sitting in the center of city, I felt that there are a lot of fear, there are a lot of anger around me, because it's like a collective, yeah, consciousness. Sometimes it's very hard to feel this, like emotional tsunami.
Vladimir, we're just about at the end of our interview, and I want to thank you, but I want to ask you one one last favor. I would like to know if you would like to take a minute or two and tell us what the most important thing as an outsider all of us need to understand about what people of Ukraine are going through and how others might help.
I don't know what to say really, because experience of war is very strong experience. And this time, I think my friends and me realized we have to understand that every second of our life, very, can I say value? No?
Can you say
Value.
has much value to it? Yes.
Because every second of our life, we can give love, we can share love, we can share compassion. Now, when we realize that we can die, yeah, when we are disconnecting with our friends, families, we realize that when war is finished, will finished. Our lives will be not same. I hope that we don't forget what is most important things for us.
Very well expressed. I'm very glad I asked that question. What is helping you the most get through this war as a man in Ukraine?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the faith in your countrymen? Is it your spiritual life? Is it your love for Ukraine? Or is it something else?
It's like a spiritual life, because war is like during the war, during this stress situation, you can see who is who.
Mm.
Yeah? You know that like many people start to acting in different ways like this. Sometimes somebody help each other, you know, somebody doesn't help and sitting in the quiet place and waiting for the end of war. Somebody escape country, and now like we have the people who is going through a spiritual path. Now they feel like examination, very strong examination, because it's like and you see, does it work or not for you? Have you got some through this many years of spiritual practice or not? You can see clearly how it works, because when you're in safe place and everything around okay, you can you can have a lot of imagination about your spiritual growing. But when you're in the stress time, in the stress place, yeah, you can see how it's work really. And I think it's good exam, yeah, for us who is on the spiritual life.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Vladimir Karuna, it's been a pleasure to be able to talk to you. Thank you very much for agreeing to visit during this interview. I got a text from you, an email from you that you couldn't stay very long one day because there was air raid sirens outside your window. Please take good care of yourself. May God bless you and your wife and your son, and may God bless the people of Ukraine. Thank you, and Sai Baba.
It was a great pleasure to meet with you, to have a conversation, and sorry for my English. It's not perfect, what to do. I try to learn more.
You did a very good job. Thank you again, and Sai Ram, Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, Sai Ram.